A while back, I was introduced to these international films such as Bollywood, Nollywood. I appreciate films, from all over. I appreciate films from all cultures, traditions. Once it has a particular storyline, message, I am very appreciative of the film arts. What I've noticed in a lot of films is that, and it's not only, let me make a disclaimer that it's not only um, certain cultural films, but I'll be focused on certain cultural films because I think you can find it in every cultural film or in every culture because narcissists exist in every culture, every tradition, and within every generation. I noticed that there's this popularity of mothers being portrayed as evil or witches in some traditions more than others. And, it's taken very seriously. Women and some men also have died, been put to death publicly just by the general population or, local members of the community, family members, and such. And I always wondered about that because, in other cultures, sometimes mothers are revered, can never be seen as doing anything wrong, not having a bad hair on their head, or, just being almost perfect. And so, when I observe some of these documentaries and films that, were very scary and somewhat shocking to see and to witness, over time I come to understand why that could be possible. We could look at the spiritual aspect, we could look at scientific aspect or psychological aspect, because professionals, even perhaps let's say secular society, we discuss narcissism, we talk about, how narcissists are created, how they cannot change, and why they manipulate, how to avoid being trapped and manipulated, etc. There are those who look plainly at the spiritual aspect. If you only look at the spiritual aspect, it makes a lot of sense and it makes it very difficult for anyone to judge persons that do focus solely on the spiritual aspect. How do you explain some of the phenomena that happens in families? So let's say you believe in witches, you believe in voodoo, you believe in wizards and druids and such, demons and that spiritual aspect of evil. A particular person, no matter what arena they are part of, what association they're part of, where they work, in their family and communities, things seem to go wrong. But the person always also appear to get away with it. Pets mysteriously die in a family, or like I said before, one member of the family mysteriously gets sick all the time. And it's not generational, it's not genetic. Things just go wrong, and it's like focused either on particular family or particular members, whether it's within the extended family as well. A lot of cultures believe in generational curses, and it makes so much sense because if you step back and look from afar, like they say, you can't see the forest for the trees. So if you step far back, you can see the whole puzzle. You can see the picture as a whole, because you would imagine why cultures who cannot explain what is going on would deem persons witches, wizards, like, there are mothers who are narcissists who destroy the family. They pin kids against each other, they triangulate, they pin fathers against daughters, they pin fathers against sons, particularly jealous, let's say jealous wives or jealous mothers within a family. And even in some of these cultures, they would say things like, your generation is cursed, or they would rain curses on them for generations. It's something that's threaded through centuries and millennia because it's obvious that something is wrong. And, when you really look deep into it, if you look within your own family or families that you know that have members that display highly narcissistic traits, then you can see how this is. Sometimes in cultures you'd hear women say or men say, "Oh, that woman, she has you whipped." Or you would hear, whether it's in the Western societies or Eastern societies, you would hear women and men say, "Oh, he has you whipped," or "she has you whipped." And people say such things because you wonder why a man or a woman are behaving in a way contrary to the way you know them. Let's say it's your sibling, and they're adults now within a marriage or a romantic relationship or a friendship. You will say, "Why are you behaving that way? Why are you doing everything your partner tells you to do without question? Why are you not being your authentic self? Why are you denying who you are, who I have known you to be your whole life, when you're free and jolly and in your flow, but then when you're around this other person, or since you've gotten a relationship or met this other person, you seem to be changing." And they begin to question that. They begin to wonder, even if a person continues to abuse you, if a person continues to, whatever type of abuse it is, you wonder, why won't you leave that person? Why does so and so appear to be stuck in a particular relationship? Like they can't escape, like they can't get out. And they have all the means apparently to get out, but don't look like they can go anywhere. And you have to consider that, many people, millions of people are in narcissistic relationships and don't know it. And, they are married 40, 50, 60 more years, didn't know they were in a manipulation and not a relationship. It's all because they cannot put a name to it. When you're in a narcissistic relationship, you can't put a name to it. You don't know what you're experiencing, what you're going through, unless there's a friend or some other person in your life telling you directly to your face about what you may be experiencing. People are born and die within narcissistic relationships. They grew up in a narcissistic family, they have narcissistic friends, they probably married or dated narcissists throughout their lives, and they die within such relationships because you just, never was able to put a name to it. Today we have a name to put to it. Of course, the name has always been there, but the more we are connected globally, the more the name gets out there. Today it's so much easier to acknowledge, address it, and face it and tackle it than it would have been prior to society becoming so much more interconnected. That's what I want to share. Hopefully, you're able to gather some powerful insights from this. Visit my website, which is below. I'll talk to you guys another time. Bye bye.